So when you talk about the shrinking role of the state, we mean that the state's hand on people's lives should bring goodness, not bring badness. And to the fact that the state brings goodness, then people might say, actually, we don't need a state. Remember, in the beginning, there was no state, there was no government, no one paid taxes to anybody. People were able to live their life without all these things. The state only came, somebody took an idea of forming up a state so that some people can come and enjoy off other people's sweat. So most states in Africa, most states in the world are just set up to enjoy the sweat of other citizens through tax paying, coming with decrees, coming with levies, penalties, and all these things. Of course, they claim they're offering services, that's why they're collecting taxes. But you can tell me that more is of them enjoying the lagasse of people's taxes and the rest. I'm not opposing the issue of the state, but we have a welfare state, but also we have a shrinking role of the state. But if the state is taking too much from people, but is having a shrinking role whereby they don't offer healthcare services to people, education services to people, they don't offer people good living conditions in the country, don't offer government services, but they're collecting so much money, as the case in Kenya now. The taxes in Kenya are very high, but how much government services are we receiving? We are realizing the government is taking from us with a spade, but giving us back with a spoon. So in the services side, the government have a shrinking role. In tax collection, then they are very strong and they are with a heavy hand. So that's why we are trying to say, in the current shrinking role of the state in Kenya under Kenya Kwanza, it is not sustainable, because when you take too much from a people and you give too little, you shrink them and that can affect them. But nevertheless, let me tell you what, the state has done so many bad things to its own citizens, sometimes overreacting. When the global financial crisis hit, when people struggled through it, stimulus packages were put, we overcame it. The response of the state was more positive rather than negative. During COVID-19, when COVID came that people didn't understand what it is, people came with serious sanctions, travel, let's say, advisories in different countries, different policies that ruined the economy. So it's not more of COVID-19 affecting the economy, it was more the state response to COVID-19 that was actually affecting the economy. Look at the Russia-Ukraine war. Immediately Russia-Ukraine war broke up, as an economist, I wrote to all the government agencies, UN, US, and the rest, and I told them, don't respond with sanctions against Russia and against Ukraine, because when you respond with these sanctions, it is those sanctions that will create an economic upheaval in the global economy. So when they did these sanctions, now where Russia was supplying oil or where Russia was supplying grain, people started experiencing hunger and scarcity of those products, and the global fuel prices went up, and that affected the global economy. And immediately war broke up in the Gaza Strip between Palestinians and Israelis. I told the world, please don't just respond with heavy-handedness by declaring sanctions in any of the countries, but use this thing to bring peace by negotiating a peace deal between the two countries. There can be a ceasefire. The ceasefire negotiations help the country economy or the global economy much more than throwing sanctions. So if you ask me, according to most economists, for example, the Keynesian economists, we believe that the state should not do anything. In fact, there was a discussion between a head of state and a businessman, and the head of state asked the businessman, what can I do for you to ensure the business environment grows? And the businessman said, leave us alone, means laissez-faire. The more things you do by setting up policies and the rest, the more you are killing the business. But the more quiet you keep, that the economy thrives and everybody can be able to work and earn money. And if you look at the welfare state is exactly like that. How can everybody coexist? How do these policies, levies, taxes, among them fiscal policies, defense policies, and economic policies, foreign policies affect the citizens? They should give more positivity to the citizen than negativity. But if you have foreign policies that affect other citizens of the world, we have foreign policies that affect them, fiscal policies that affect other people, and we have defense policies that affect other people, then the state is creating more problems to the citizen than actually good. And as economists, I believe that we should not be purely laissez-faire, neither should it be too heavy-handedness, The truth is always in the middle. You've heard about the left and the right, but I can believe that the truth is never in the left, neither in the right. The truth is always somewhere in the middle between two extremes. And Solomonic economic is not a leftist, is not a rightist, but a Solomonic is something in the middle that favors both sides of the economy. And I think that is the truth about this thing of shrinking rather than state. Thank you.